Hey there. It's been a while. It's, it has been a while. Just, just look at how long my hair has gotten since my last video. And this video is going to be a little bit different from the ones I've been doing so far in my character design journal. As in, this is going to be a bit of a review, recap, and I'm going to explain a bit of what's been happening behind the scenes. I've not prepared any sort of script or guidelines for this video, so I'm doing this raw. And you're gonna see me do this a lot because I keep getting distracted by the camera and my own picture in my screen. So this is what we were doing last time. I was designing the characters. Let's choose a color that we can see. So we see Brunhilda and Brunhilda, two different ages. Sigurd. These two characters, this one and this one, have still not been named. So, yeah. There's Acorde Pagani and Galenus. Galenus. I think he was called Galenus. It's been so long, I don't even remember. You can see what I was doing with these characters in the previous videos. I was designing these characters for a video game that I was going to start working on. However, as I kept learning about game development, I realized that the scope I was aiming for was way too big. And it's just not something I can do on my own right now. At least, no, it's just something I cannot do on my own, actually. It's not like right now. Ever. I will never be able to do this on my own because it's just too big. So I shelved this project. I put it on hiatus indefinitely until I have the resources and means to actually carry it out. However, on the meantime, before I realized all this, something happened, which is if you look at Galenus, his drawing, the quality actually looks better than Brunhilde, right? And you can see there's a clear progression as you move through the character designs, that the drawings get only a little bit better each time. But it's enough for you to notice the difference between the first one and the last one. Alright? So I started redrawing all of them. Well, my idea was to redraw Brunhilde alone. But after I redrew Brunhilde, she looked way better than Galenus, and then I started to redrawing them all. And here they are. I will, let me show them a little smaller. There we go. So I will show them side by side in a second. I also changed a few things. There's a character that probably you haven't seen before because I completely changed her. Alright, and there's also some new characters. These two are the same characters in the same way like Brunhilde has two different versions. This one over here is not even finished, and she's also supposed to have a version with casual clothes like this one. You can see I didn't finish the sword. That's kind of funny. Maybe I should like leave it like that. There's some details over here and in other places that I just didn't do. There's supposed to be like some embroidery in the kimono. Yeah, I'm not going to keep working on them because I plan on picking up this project much later on in the future. But so far, this is what we have. So we're going to see how the old designs compare to the new designs. Starting with Brunhilde, obviously, the first one I designed. You can see the most clear difference is the difference in resolution, right? Because I drew it a lot bigger, and you can see it's just bigger. So I have more room for more details. And that is the main difference in this one. I also tilted the sword around a little bit, so you can actually see the details on the sword. And I don't think I changed a lot. I changed the design of the guard on the leg, and the skirt. The skirt has a bit it's a bit different from what this one was supposed to be, right? And the sheath, is that what, how you say sheath? I guess. Other than that, there's not much changes. However, I did do alternative versions of her design. So like this is without her armor, and this is, it's supposed to be a bit further in the future. As you see, she has like an older version, like an old age version. So this is somewhere in between the two. She has a ponytail, which is like somewhat of a transition between having loose hair and the bond that she has on the old age version. There's a reason for the shield. I'm not going to get into that. That's too much detail. That has to do more with the narrative of that I was going for with this project, which again, I will pick it up later in the future if I ever have the resources to actually carry it out to completion. So that is what we're gonna see about Brunhilde, young Brunhilde, old age Brunhilde. I actually changed a few more things on her. I got rid of the scarf because it wasn't really serving the function that I wanted it to serve. I changed her pose just to make it look like, just to resemble more the pose that she has on this version. Right, so she's practically doing the same. I just wanted the two positions two poses to resemble each other, so that you can more easily tell it's the same character. Also because I realized here, she was cutting the design on the middle and hiding an important design piece that is the belt, because it is supposed to resemble the belt, the thicker belt that she's wearing when she's younger. Right? And other than that, it's just better drawn because I have more room for more details, and there's like almost a year in between each of the drawings, so I just got a bit better. And yeah, there's also another version here where she's wearing parts of her armor as an old woman, and that's it. Not much else to say. I did change some things on the armor, like the heels are a bit shorter. Where is it? It's just to reflect on her older age. She's carrying the shield. She's not carrying all of her armor either. And that's it. So let's move on to the next character. I barely changed anything on this one. Like barely. Even less than young Brunhilde. As you can see, it's mostly the same. Even the tattoos, they just have more details. Right, so as you can see on this one, for example, it's just got thinner lines in between. I actually did this symbol like this. I don't know how to describe it in this way. Yeah, it's just got more details, and that's it. I did, however, change the design of these things because I didn't really like them, and they were hard to replicate as well. So I just made them. They actually look more authentic as well. Like they make more sense in the newer version. Other than that, everything pretty much stayed exactly the same, just with higher quality. Oh, I changed the boots as well, just so they have more details and it look better in high resolution. Nothing really that important. And just as where was it here? Brunhilde has a version in between the two times. So that's Sigurd, where he starts wearing armor, and you can see his scar that he's going to have when he's older. Right? And just transitions it to the older version. Again, the same as Brunhilde, I changed the pose of his arm so that it resembles the pose that he has when he's younger. And because he's wearing this is a bit of like narrative of the narrative that I thought for this story, for for this project, because he's working as a librarian and he's quite short. When you see him compared to all the other characters. He uses this extendable hand. I'm not sure. I'm sure they have a name, but I don't know what they're called right now. I can't remember. So I use one of these extendable hands as like a funny thing. Like that's what he uses to reach the top shelf. Right? And same as Brunhilde on this one. He has a version of him wearing his battle suit, let's call it. Let's call it battle suits. When he's older. Obviously he's older, so he cannot carry the massive big ass axe that he used to have, so he carries a small one. And that's about it for this one. So moving on to this one stayed practically the same. I feel like I'm saying that with every character, but it's just the way it stayed. There is more resolution in the embroidery in the jacket. I changed that tiger because looking back on it, it does look kind of silly. So I just made it a lot better. And that's it. There's not much else to talk about on this one. It's just high resolution, more details, and that's it. And obviously a little bit better drawn. And there's also this version. His face looks weird. You're probably thinking that, and I agree. His face looks weird. I don't know what I was thinking when I drew that. It's been a few months. Yeah, I'll definitely fix that face at some point. But yeah, it's just an alternative skin. Should I call it that? An alternative skin that he's going to have. He was going to have on the game. Yeah, overall, I didn't change a lot of this character. This is not the case with the next one, though. Yeah. So if you can remember, let me pull up the sketches I did when I was designing this character at first. So no, when I was designing these characters, I chose this one and this one. However, I decided to, for this new version, I decided to mix this one that I already had with a little bit of this other one. So this is kind of what it looks like. And I also completely changed the role she was supposed to have on the narrative. So she's now a sort of weapons master, right? As you can see, her hand here on the front was... I designed her in a way that I can make her hold different weapons. Like, let's say she's holding a staff. A better drawn one, obviously. And maybe next time she shows up, she's holding, I don't know, a sword? Or some sort of, I don't know, a knife. Like that. So every time she shows up, she will have a different weapon in her hand. And yeah, I just think it's a big upgrade from the previous design to the new one. I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm not going to work on these projects anymore for a while anyways. So whatever feedback I have, I will apply it in the very far future. So going on with the characters that I already did. We have... oh, by the way, the previous two characters still don't have names. So you can still give suggestions to that. Again, they will be useful in the future, but they might still be useful. So going on with Accordo Pagani, I basically just simplified his design a little bit. Like, there are more details on his design, but also I took away a lot of his design elements, if that makes sense. So basically, under his coat, there's just a waistcoat now, like a plain one, rather than all this double layer thing that I did. I don't know, after looking at it for a while, I stopped liking all this stuff. It also made him look kind of like his body shape was kind of like this, which is not what I was going for. You can see it looks better, more in shape, let's say, over here. Yeah, these are other versions, like alternative designs with his violin and without the codes and anything. This is technically spoilers, but since this project is not going to happen in a long time, I hope that by the time, if ever, this game comes out, no one remembers what this video is about, and no one just suddenly finds it, and you will be seeing spoilers for like the end of the game, basically. So yeah, just ignore this one for now. And yeah, I didn't do much else other than that. It's just higher quality, and I got rid of a lot of unneeded design elements. So for the last one, this is also, I was gonna say that one of the ones that changed the least, but there are a few of them that didn't change much. I kept the same expression, same pose. I basically just traced it in higher quality, with the exception of this thing. I just made it leathery instead of like a fur skirts kind of thing. I changed the color of the fur coat that he's wearing on his shoulders, so it's not the same color as his hair, like on this one. I just changed the colors of a few things here and there. Didn't do much else. Gave some details over here, like stitches. And that's about it. And however, the older version, like before he became like this, when he was a normal human, I did actually finish his design. His eyes look a bit weird. Like, I like it in the sketch here, but I don't know what happened over here. I will fix it, work on it later, much later. The hand is also really weird, but I fixed it over here. However, I wasn't too happy with the hand holding a book. I don't know. I just didn't like it that much, and I changed it with a cup of coffee because it fits the character's aesthetic a bit more. Other than that, it's just a dude on a lab coat and Crocs. Yeah. Also, they're based on my Crocs, by the way. Judge me all you want. I use Crocs only when I'm at home, though. I don't go outside in Crocs. That's not okay. And yeah, that's everything I have to talk about these characters. There's also these new characters that I'm just not going to talk about them because I didn't make any videos on them, and this is not going to be that video. I can just, yeah, I guess I'll just put on the background like this image scrolling through so you can see the characters better while I talk about what's going to happen with this channel, because this project is on hiatus indefinitely. I will start posting videos of a new project that I'm working on. It's also a video game. It is not going to be that big. It is in fact a very small project that will take me only a couple of years. I am almost about to finish a playable demo that I will tell you all when it comes out. And the aesthetics are completely different. If you follow me on my other social media, you have seen me post images of this Mysterious Manor series, so it is going to be based on those characters. And that's about it. I'm just going to start posting about that for the time being, and I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. So yeah,